Mobs are attacking the New York City ICE detention center. It's in Newark, New Jersey, but this is where everybody who's gonna get deported ends up being taken. And look at that. Oh, what's this? Got the yellow barricades. Look at this. Oh, they're trying to get a vehicle inside the facility. Look at this. How is this allowed? I know that Trump wants ICE to be nice, but I mean, at some point you gotta arrest somebody. Look at this, total chaos. It's like a game of Tetris in real life with two opposing teams. This is absolutely ridiculous. We got a federal government trying to keep our country safe, and this is being allowed to happen domestically. And you know, notice how it's happening right on schedule. Now that all the college students are free to have the summer off and sow mayhem throughout our country, we got stuff like this happening in certain parts of the country. Not everybody who goes to college is up to this. Absolutely crazy. Oh, what's happening now? Oh, they're chanting. Are they gonna actually arrest somebody? Will anyone get arrested today? Or are we just... Oh. Okay. But don't be fooled, even though you see a bunch of people screaming on the sidewalk, this is actually a highly organized resistance event. Watch this.
Dick, I'm standing back here because the situation is escalating here in front of Delaney Hall. As you can see, ICE agents have pushed back a large crowd. Now, some of these people have family members who are detained in there, but a lot of the people, other people showed up who appear to be organized groups joining in the protest. Again, you're looking at this military-style vehicle trying to leave this area. They're trying to get other cars out of here as well, but these protesters are standing here. They are not moving. They are blocking the roadway, and ICE agents are standing guard.
Yeah, if they're organized groups,
ICE agents in riot gear showing up late Monday afternoon at Delaney Hall. Our cameras capturing those agents removing protesters, blocking the immigration detention facility's exit, as protesters could be seen throwing objects at them. Amid the chaos, U.S. Senator Andy Kim.
You see how much that they are trying to hide what's happening here.
No one's hiding anything that's happening here. This is the same facility that last summer was stormed by many of these very same activists, and it is an ICE detention facility. You know what that means? Everybody here wants to be here. Why? They can leave anytime. There are signs all throughout these facilities that say, hey, if you want to self-deport, we'll give you a free flight home right now. But everybody inside wants that. No one's hiding anything. But this is the resistance effort that is supposed to turn the tide for the party of political violence and help them take over our country during the midterms. They want these vehicles, they want the troops on the streets to say that, see, Trump, now that he's got the conflict in Iran settled, he's back at war with the American people. He's always at war with someone. That's what this is. Meanwhile, these agents are just standing here, being disrespected. This is crazy. Look, that guy right there. Look at this guy. He's altercated so many times. These people are crazy. This is crazy. These people are terrible. But this has led to something that is a really big problem, because with communists, if you give them an inch, they're gonna take a mile, and to them, that is the victory they are looking for. Watch this. Here they are at night, because again, this has been going on for days, blocking a driveway. And they've got their megaphones. Look at this is crazy. They are trying to take over the order of the roadway. That is their goal. And look at how they are pushing the agents back. This is victory to them, see? Oh, they're stopping the cars. And look at this. Here we have a van that just left the facility. Here we have some of these organized rioters chasing after it. This is done to intimidate the people who are working here. Right? This is done to intimidate people and scare them.
It's Essex County Police.
See? You got somebody out there coaching them, telling them who to go after, who to not go after. You got the roadblocks. You got the federal government timidly falling back in the face of all of these people with cameras who want to inspect these vehicles and see who's inside them. Look, they're stopping the vehicles. Look, they're filming who's inside. This is incredibly frightening. Oh, look, it's up to them to let people out. Look at this. They want to fight. Look at this. There's no law enforcement. This is dangerous. Look at that. You got people trying to go home from work. They can't even leave their business. And look at this. By the next morning, they were able to have a full-on roadblock here. Look at this. Look, they're in the road. Anytime they want, these two groups can collide. Yep, see, look at that.
Still in that van.
Look at that.
Everybody from Visitation in 2A, when they came out, they heard a banging on the door, on the window, and they are telling me that it's my husband.
Okay, well look, if her husband's here legally, he's not going to be in that facility for very long because it doesn't take very long to check and see if somebody's in the country with permission. And if he's here illegally, he has the opportunity to self-deport and obey the laws at any moment. The only reason people are even held in this place are arrested by ICE. ICE says you have to leave the country. Do you want to leave the country? They say no, I want to see a judge. And this is where people stay who want to see a judge while they're here without permission. This is not a complicated thing at all, but these activists want us to believe that people are being held here against their will and they're prisoners and that this is some grave travesty as if US immigration law doesn't matter. But we've got even more evidence that this is a well-coordinated effort because there seems to be coordination between people on the inside and people on the outside. Watch. Look at this. Free them all. That's what they're chanting. We've got Antifa with their flag right there. On the outside, people on the inside, starting to riot. We got riots outside. This is a team effort. Everyone's got gas masks and vests. Everyone's got equipment. We got people who figured out how the light switch works inside. They're flipping it on and off. Free them all. Everyone can leave if they decide to obey America's laws. If they want their day in court, then they have to stay here and wait for it. By the way, if you're a US citizen and you are brought to one of these facilities because you start a fight with federal agents, once they figure out you're here legally, they'll let you come back out here and join this crowd. That's the most ridiculous part of all of this. Nobody's inside that building unless they want to fight America's immigration laws after they decided to break them. But just before we continue, quick question. How much control do you have over your money right now? Technology has changed everything, and now it's changing how money works. Crypto started as a niche, but now it's going mainstream. Faster payments, more control, fewer middlemen. This isn't hype, it's where things are going. And getting started today is easier than you think, and that's where Rumble Wallet comes in. With Rumble Wallet, you can buy Bitcoin, hold dollar-backed stablecoins, and even own digital gold backed by real gold all in one place. Setup is simple. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your debit card, credit card, or bank account and be up and running in minutes. Start small, $10, $50, $100. It's not about the amount, it's about getting in early and understanding what's coming next. And once you're set up, you can even tip your favorite Rumble creators like me directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code or follow this link directly. It's also going to be in the video description. From there, you can download Rumble Wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. Take control of your money. Get started with Rumble Wallet today. Now let's get back to the video. Legal disclaimer, Rumble Wallet is a technology provider and not a custodial service. See terms at wallet.rumble.com.
But these protesters say they are not leaving until everyone inside is released or conditions drastically improve.
They're going to be there for a while because people aren't getting released if they're here illegally.
Between both parties, sometimes violently. In this video, you can see ICE agents in riot gear arriving late Monday afternoon and begin removing demonstrators who were blocking the entrance, deploying pepper spray. Some protesters were seen throwing objects while others linked arms.
So they're throwing objects. So this mob is out there throwing objects at law enforcement and is part of an organized resistance effort just in time for the elections, which are going to happen this fall. The goal is to keep this up with these individuals who want to cover their faces and wear masks all summer long so that you decide to re-elect their candidates.
To form a human chain.
A human chain.
Family members of detainees have been protesting outside Delaney Hall since Friday, claiming their loved ones are being held in poor conditions and given expired food.
Yeah,
on Monday, New Jersey Governor Mikey Sherrill tried visiting the facility, but says she was denied access inside.
Because she showed up during a riot.
Congressional delegation made up of Democratic lawmakers was allowed in and claims some detainees are not receiving proper medical care.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Okay, before we get to what the governor of New Jersey is saying about this, look at what else these rioters are doing to the property, and tell me this isn't some sort of organized coup. Look at this. They are digging up the property. This protester, who we're supposed to believe is an average American, covered in head to toe with riot gear, has a shovel and is digging up parts of the property to create a roadblock, and is in a chain of people that are doing the exact same thing. There is nothing organic about this. The most organic thing here is the grass he had to dig through to get that piece of federal property and build a dump out in front of this jail. This is absolutely ridiculous. But that's only part of their plan. The other part of their plan is to lie about what's happening here and what ICE is doing to try and come up with some boogeyman that they think they can use against Trump to get back into power in this country and take it over.
Facilities, which I have long opposed, are not treating people in the humane way we want.
Oh my goodness.
I think what you should take away from this is that here in this country, everyone should be treated with dignity.
Right.
Everyone, regardless of your status.
We come here every single day.
They cut the governor off.
They don't
CBS
allow us to give them
off.
medication.
A pregnant woman who was in pain and gripping her stomach and wasn't receiving care.
This is all what we're hearing from the
Homeland
activists.
Security accused the
ICE
governor
doesn't
of
have a
staging
PR
what it
machine out
called
here
a political stunt on Memorial Day, and said visitation remains suspended out of an abundance of caution.
Right, because there's a riot going on in front of the facility. You have people, they show up, they start shaking the gates of this place, they start throwing trash in front of it, they start attacking the federal government. They do that for 3 days in a row, and then they wonder why nobody can get in. Then they wonder why no one can get inside and see the people that are there. Well, the place is being mobbed, it's under attack, and that's just another reason to blame Trump. They think they can turn public opinion against the president, just like they tried to do last summer with their whole war on ICE.
And so they came over here, they formed essentially a human blockade.
A blockade.
And that is when things started to escalate. Agents that had their batons out, it was very tense.
Faces.
Traffic was being
You can
blocked.
tell who the agitators
It
are.
got a little physical at times.
But who's making it physical?
All of this, though, is stemming from essentially
she's
a hunger strike
grabbing
that
the
started here at Delaney Hall on Friday. Detainees reportedly saying that there is a lack of food, a lack of medical care.
So it's not an all-you-can-eat buffet. We're hearing from these activists that these people are eating expired food. Well, if they're eating expired food, how come we don't have any pictures of the expired food? How come nobody that works for the food delivery that's bringing in the expired food has bothered to take any pictures of it and call 60 Minutes? Why hasn't that happened?
And so this has prompted people to come out and protest.
No, the people were coming to protest anyways.
Representative Rob Menendez and Senator Andy Kim have been here throughout the last few days.
It's a team
they
effort.
were
We
in the
got
facility
Antifa out here.
Friday and Saturday. Representative Menendez came here
these people. These are all
last
trained
night
agitators.
specifically to try and get in and talk to one detainee whose wife said he is being retaliated against for participating in this hunger strike, and they are going to move him to the Elizabeth detention facility.
So wait a second.
That did happen.
So wait a second. There's a hunger strike and there's not enough food. People are starving, but they're also offered 3 meals a day. There's something very suspicious going on here. And you know something, this facility's been open for a long time. This is not a new facility, and no one has starved in this facility. Every single thing we're seeing here is a piece of propaganda designed to try and win some sort of political point.
Morning. But Representative Menendez came here last night about 8:30, could not get in, stayed here all night until he finally got in with Senator Kim around 11:30 this morning. DHS does not technically have to grant the governor access into the facility, but members of Congress, Representative Menendez, Senator Kim, they do have a right to be able to go in and...
Right. When it's safe. When people who are wearing a mask to hide their identity aren't in front of the facility attacking law enforcement. That's not the right time to open the door to the facility and start letting people in, because some of these individuals might get in. You might have an unsafe situation for law enforcement, the detainees, and the radical organized protesters, right? We don't want to see people getting injured. We don't want to see people being put in harm's way. That would be an absolute nightmare situation. This, to me, is a nightmare situation. So here is the Delaney Hall facility. Look at this. Here's the yellow barricades people are throwing all over the place. Here's the entrance to the place over here where the vehicles drive in and out. Now, why are protesters allowed to be this close? Look, we have a 4-lane road here. This is a big, big road. Why are people allowed to get so close? To me, it doesn't make sense for protesters to be in front of the place when they could be, you know, over here on the other side of the street. Or better yet, let's get them down further out of the way so that they do not pose a threat to anybody. They don't need to be right in front of this facility, but they want to be, because if they can get in front of it, if they can stop the vehicles that are going in and going out, they can establish their law and order on this place and slow it down. And to them, that's a victory. And you know why they're all here? Because nobody in Newark wants to send the police out here to do their job. You have a police force that is run by a regime that is hostile to law and order. And you have selective law enforcement. And this is how regimes operate. They let their team get away with unlimited crime while they spend all of their time policing everyone else. That's why we're seeing this. That's why it's up to ICE to get out here and do its own policing. And that falls right into the trap that they're trying to set to make these guys the bad guys.
Demonstrators were then seen blocking law enforcement vehicles from trying to leave,
Look at this.
Placing barricades, kicking cars, and flinging
Look,
objects.
that guy just threw a rock.
The protest outside
That's
Delaney
assault.
Hall first began Friday. The same
Look
day,
at
about
this.
300
Look at
detainees
her.
went
She's
on a
banging her
hunger
phone on the
strike.
window.
One of the demonstrators is Gabriela Soto, who says her husband, Martin, was detained by ICE while buying diapers for their child 4 months ago. Tensions escalated Sunday when she says ICE tried removing her husband from the facility, even though a judge ordered his release.
Okay,
Congressman
well,
Rob Menendez
there's
has
gotta be
been
more to
at the
this.
site since last evening, demanding to conduct an oversight visit.
This is so crazy.
Retaliated on me by trying to shut me up, by attacking my husband. He was banging on the window. He was screaming and banging on the window.
Let's fast forward
That's
this.
why everyone here is blocking it, because
Free
they're
the
not going
captives.
to let my husband be deported or sent away.
This is not who the president said he was going to target with his immigration enforcement. These are people from our communities.
Look, all we're hearing are the statements from the activists who you couldn't make happy. These are people who have a fundamental disagreement with the idea that the U.S. border should be shut. So, of course, every single thing that happens here, they're targeting the wrong people. They're targeting people in general. They're not going after the worst and the worst. They're taking away Maryland fathers, for crying out loud, and every single person here is innocent and everyone should be released. They're chanting, "Free them all," in front of this facility. You understand what that means? That means the people that are standing in front of this place do not believe that anybody should be held here, even if they do fit the description of somebody who's a danger to society. You know why? Because they think the only criminal in this country is the criminal in the White House. And they think that everybody that the criminal in the White House says is a criminal is actually innocent. They are calling evil good and good evil to suit their political agenda. What do you think about that? I'll see you in the next one.